Good morning, guys. What day is it? Happy Thursday. Wait for some people to sign on to our weekly coffee with a pastor. Say hello to me if you're on, please. I see it says 2 people are watching, but it's not showing me who. Hi, Joyce. Good morning. Hi, Tori. Oh my gosh. Hi, Rita. Hi from Chicago. 6 people. Hey, Naomi. Good morning, you guys. I'm feeling groggy because every morning I wake up before dawn. I kind of overslept a little today. Hi, Tiffany. And, oh, okay, I'm getting notifications. Anyway, yeah, every morning I wake up and this is a little nook spot in our bedroom, and I turn on a little lamp and I sit here from like 6 to 9 and I just like race the clock trying to get as much done before Lyle starts work. He starts at 9 so that I can have an extra hour before the day takes off with my 4-year-old. So today I decided to do coffee here to show you this little spot I sit in. So I like don't want to move because I don't want anyone to wake up. Everyone gets up about 7:30 and then I get a cup of coffee. But I just basically don't want anyone to wake up, and I like to have a certain amount of alone time before the day begins. And it doesn't matter how tired I am. It makes my day so much better if I have that alone time. Hey, Matt. Hi, Alicia. Do you guys have that? Does anyone like to have alone time either at night or in the morning where literally no one's awake? I just like that. But anyway, all that to say, I'm feeling groggy because I haven't left the space that I started out in. So I feel a little out of it. But good morning. Good morning. Hey, Fran. Tell me what you guys need to survive. Hi, Dad. I definitely need the early morning. Okay, so wait, what is Matt? Yeah. Yes, Naomi, resorting to at night. I totally get it. You know what? I probably, if I didn't have to wake up, I probably wouldn't, even though I need to. But it's like in order, that's cool, Fran, thanks. In order for me to get work done for the church and stuff, like I have to wake up. So it helps keep me accountable, I guess you could say. Yeah. Okay, so Fran talked about, wait, first, can you see this? I just noticed this is in the shot. Fran gave me this for my birthday several years ago. I have a Lizzo one too. Hi, Brittany. Brittany's, that's right. I'm sorry. That was a little insensitive to people who are alone all the time right now. I'm so sorry. I know that for people who are alone, that is not necessarily ideal. And so we are all finding so much struggle in this time, and having to figure out creative ways to work through it. Oh, right. Okay. So tonight is our small group, Full Spectrum. And it's our last night of Full Spectrum. So please hop onto that call. Message me if you want to hop on. Matt's going to talk about sojourning. He's written up some stuff and I know it's going to be thoughtful. He's excited. I'm excited. It's at 7:30 Central. Would love to see you there for our last Full Spectrum. Then we're going to take a 2-week break. And we have a series of workshops for you with in May and June with some really incredible people. And I'm very, very excited to put out marketing for that soon. I can't believe the kind of people who we are able to snag, being such a small church with such few resources. So look out for that. And then the other thing I wanted to share is starting this Monday. Oh my gosh, I need to change the marketing stuff for this. Okay, starting this Monday, we are going to not have coffee with a pastor on Mondays. We're going to move to Tuesday through Fridays. We're dropping that day just because we have discerned that is needed. I think especially for just pastors putting out content every day. Mondays tend to be a lower viewed day. we just saw each other on Sunday. So we're going to do Tuesday through Fridays, Coffee with a Pastor. And we're starting with a guest pastor again on Tuesday this coming week. Reverend Brent Newberry, who's one of my great friends, and he's out of Massachusetts. So I can't wait for you guys to hear from him. But we'll also have coffee tomorrow. Matt will be here tomorrow. So those are just some little announcements. Anyway, all right. So Fran talked about books that shaped her faith yesterday, and I watched that back because it was not loading for me yesterday in real time. And then last night, I had the thought, I need to talk about people that shaped my faith. And all throughout the night, like I would wake up and I would just be thinking about the people that shaped my faith. And I woke up this morning and was like, that's what I'm going to talk about. So I jotted down just a couple of notes, and hopefully it's not too rambly. But I want to talk about, hi Jana, I miss you too. Miss you all so much. I want to talk about people, not people you don't know, people you do know, people that were in your life or are in your life, the people that have shaped your faith. And there are people, there are countless people who shape our faith, right? There are so many people who shape our faith for a season. And then there are those like handful. If you really think about like your top 3 or your top 4 or your top 5, those handful, even if it's just one person who really shaped your faith. Who are they? And what does it mean to shape your faith? When I was a little kid, my mom used to tell me that there were guardian angels watching over me and that I had my own guardian angel. And I don't remember the details. I just remember that as a kid, it really comforted me. I loved it. I loved the idea of it. And then years later, as an adult, like several years ago, I was reading one of Richard Rohr's daily meditations that comes to your inbox. And at the end of every meditation, there's a prayer, like kind of just like a one-line prayer based on the theme for that week. And he said in this prayer for that particular day, like I said, it was probably like 8 years ago. The prayer was, hold me in your truth. And ever since I read that, that's like my favorite prayer of all time. But for my personality and who I am, that's just the prayer of my life. And when I think back to my mom telling me about guardian angels, now I realize the reason I loved that so much is because I felt held. And don't we just want that? Don't we want to feel held from the divine presence in our lives? Even if we don't have certainty about doctrine or we don't have clarity about what we wish we had clarity about, to just feel the presence and to feel held and safe in the presence of God is really all that I could ask for when it comes down to it. And so that's sort of the prayer and the mantra that I have in my head when I think about the people in my life who shaped my faith. And I'm talking about faith in such a way that I feel held. Not how I talk about God, not how I see God, but the faith that God is with me, holding me. Who are the people in your life that have shaped your understanding of your faith? And so I want to invite you that as I'm sharing, because I'm going to share the people in my life, I don't want to talk about myself too much, but again, like I'm just sitting here on this live staring at my own face, but I love seeing your comments roll in. And so if you would, I invite you as I'm reflecting to share the people in your life and specifically how, and that's kind of what I'm going to do. And I'll guide you through it a little bit too, or you can just throw it out there. Hi, Caitlin. But I want to just sort of let you know that as I'm talking, I hope you will be sharing. And I always go back and read all the comments, comment on them, and the people watching are reading them. And so let's just make this a time of sharing. And so, like I said, there are those who shape your life for your faith for a season. And those, hopefully, I hope and pray that those have been countless people for you. I know they have been for me. But then there are those who have shaped it for your whole lifetime. And when I look back over the course of my life, I see the major people who shaped and continue to shape my faith in the present, even though it was in a season in the past. The first person that really shaped my faith is my dad. And honestly, I'm just so grateful for how both of my parents nurtured my faith as a really young child. I never felt like they were indoctrinating me. I mean, looking back, I don't see that. I just see like such nurturing. And I also see a good example. And so with my dad, I always call my dad my kindred spirit. He just is. I don't know how else to explain. See, Jana knows. David is the best. I look back now and reflect, but I also see him now and throughout my life, this constant. And this is not to say he didn't have his own struggles and his own things to work through and change and grow, obviously, but I'm talking about the ways he shaped my faith. And I see the way he embraced mystery all my life. And I just love that so much. I always felt like my dad followed the road less traveled when it came to his faith. He didn't conform to what faith was supposed to look like in any particular paradigm or faith context. He always just had a deeply personal and deeply devoted faith. And he always supported me in mine. And I even see that now. My dad, whenever we're meeting on Sundays, he always shows up almost all the time. He comes to our church, but my dad's actually Catholic, and so he goes to church several days a week at the Catholic church when it's open, and watching all the Catholic masses and the Pope and everything online right now, and catching our stuff online. And he just created for himself his own faith paradigm and his own faith community, and I always appreciated that about him, that he didn't really follow the way it was supposed to look like. I appreciate what my dad sees in me, and I'm just really grateful that I got to have a parent be somebody that could be a kindred in my faith experience. I wonder, as you think about your childhood, even if you don't think you had a faith experience in childhood, go back to God and the divine presence holding you in that truth, even when you didn't have words for it, or maybe knew you had an experience in your childhood that was particularly churchy or not. Think back to your childhood and tell me in the comments, who is someone who really shaped you and held you so that you are the person you are now in your faith experience. Please do share. I hope you will. I know there's a lag and it takes a bit of time for me to see them, but I hope you'll share. Moving from childhood into my adolescence, the person who really, really shaped my faith was a woman named Jan Ferris. And a lot of you who are close to me know about her. She was like a second mom to me. She was so influential to my life that I actually named my daughter after her. Her middle name is Jan, Cosette Jan. Jan passed away when I was in my first year of seminary from pancreatic cancer. So that was 12 years ago or so. Thank you for sharing, guys. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to looking back at your comments. But yeah, Jan, when I look back now, I'm going to start crying. She was a wise woman in my midst. Oh my God, she was so wise and so discerning. And she was just like how we say in our church, love thy neighbor, no exceptions. She did that. She actually practiced that before I knew to say that. She actually practiced it. She was amazing. Growing up in the South, everything, even though I grew up kind of in the Catholic Church, the culture was evangelical Southern Baptist, and it was very exclusionary. And I was shaped by that too. And I was exclusionary a lot, as a young adolescent going into college, because that's what I thought it was supposed to be like. And Jan was never that way, even living in rural Mississippi. She was so open. That's the word for Jan, is open. And I wonder if you had that presence in your life. Who were the people in your life who, even though you were maybe, you know, stuck within a certain paradigm, who are the people in your life who you were like, wow, they're not like that. They're open. You may have thought that's wrong. Like that's wrong. But now looking back, you don't feel that way. You actually admire them. That's kind of how Jan was. She was really progressive for where she lived. She was really artistic and really creative. Thank you, Brittany, for sharing, and all of you for sharing. And I have so much grief. This is why I'm teary, because sorry. I wish we could have known each other on this side of my faith deconstruction, because I feel like I just feel like she would be proud of me. So anyway, sorry. It is so weird right now because I'm staring at myself, but your comments are holding me together. So thank you. But yeah, she was just amazing. And I'm so grateful for the seeds she planted in my life, because when she died, I had just came out of college, and I was, oh, thank you for saying that, Naomi. What was her name? I had just come out of college, and I was like really stuck in kind of a fundamentalist mindset when she got sick. And so I was thinking, oh, you know, I didn't think I could talk to her about my faith at the time, because she wasn't like so conservative, or I don't know what the right word is. So anyway, I just grieve that we lost that, the ability for me to like open my eyes and see the no exceptions and all that she lived out her whole life. So anyway, whoa, I did not mean to break down. Okay, so another person thanks guys, another person that was really meaningful to shaping my faith is Lyle, my husband, my partner. Lyle, you guys, some of you know him. I always say that Lyle taught me to say no to things, and I taught him to say yes to things. So we really balance each other out. But the things that I love about Lyle, we met in college, and again, I'm amazed that we ever got together, because I was like Miss Perfect in terms of just following all the rules and doing everything the way it's supposed to be done according to this very stringent evangelical paradigm. And Lyle is someone who's not bound by doctrine. He is a person who thinks for himself. So if you tell him to believe something, he's gonna reject that and think for himself first. And he's just confident in what he believes, even if other people don't believe it. And he doesn't follow rules just to follow rules. So see, like, this is stuff that's not necessarily like faith language, but it's important. And I wonder who the people are in your life whose just overall personalities encouraged you to trust yourself more, or encouraged you to think outside the box, or encouraged you to say no where you needed to say no, or say yes where you needed to say yes. Like, I'm talking about myself a lot, but I'm just really dying for you guys to share in the comments so I can see, and so you guys can see each other as well. And so I really appreciate Lyle for that. I just really don't think I would be where I am in my faith journey if it weren't for being married to him. And so, you know, that's the point of shaping a faith, right? That's the definition of it. So finally, because I don't want to take too long, I want to share going into adulthood and going into being out of school and going into ministry. Kendall, who was the guest preacher last week, or guest pastor last week, she really shaped my faith, because I didn't expect to be a pastor. I didn't expect to work in a church. And it just kind of happened. And then Kendall was there really guiding me, and kind of, even though she's my friend and like the same age as me, she's mentoring me along the way. And I know 100% I wouldn't be the pastor I am, and especially the preacher that I am, if it weren't for Kendall's influence. Again, just so creative. When there's a problem, she solves it, but in a way that you wouldn't think. If she sees a problem, she goes in and she finds a solution, and it's always creative, and it's always compassionate. And she really is the person who opened me up to feminism and to the divine feminine presence. Thank you, Joyce, for sharing. If some of you are reading Sue Monk Kidd's Dance with the Distant Daughter, Kendall read that book years ago. Kendall told me about it. I read it at the same time. Fran and a lot of other people in my life, we all read it like at the same time. And so she was really kind of a seed for me in so many ways, planting seeds in my life. And so I'm so grateful for that, because as a pastor, you know, the only example I had was men. And even in starting the church, I was the only woman around for a long time in ministry in our church. And I just had Kendall, and she was such a trailblazer. And I'm just so, so grateful that she showed me not to do it how she does it, not to do it how they do it, but to do it how I do it. So I'm really, really grateful for those four. And I wonder who your four are. Who are your five? Who's your one? I keep asking that over and over, but I hope you will tell me. I want to hear who has shaped your faith. And I want you to spend time really thinking about it, because it causes you to reflect, causes you to remember. And I think both of those are really powerful spiritual tools for being held by God, being held in divine presence. Of course, there are so many people shaping my faith right now. In this season, Fran and Matt shaped my faith so much, you guys. I'm so grateful to have them. I would never want to pastor alone. I'm so, so grateful to have them shaping everything that I do, and the way that I think, and the way I engage theology. I just have so many people I can name. So many. If you were watching, you were probably one of them. But I'm very grateful for you all, and I'm grateful for our church community, because this church has shaped my faith more than anything. Just being a part of this community in my life, for sure. We're almost a decade in here, and I can't say how grateful I am for you guys. So I'm going to just stop there, because I feel like I've been talking forever, and I want to hear from you, and I want to comment on your comments. So please do share, and you guys have a great Thursday. We'll see you tonight for Full Spectrum. Bye, guys.